Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of October 26th, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
Okay, I have to ask you a very, very personal question. How's it going when you go to the bathroom? I mean, is it a rocky road or is everything just like smooth and easy? Well, thanks to technology, you can now buy a toilet camera. Yeah, I know. It's going to monitor your gut health by taking pictures of your poop. Yes. It's called the Throne. What a great name, by the way. It uses AI to analyze the structure and everything else and then sends the data straight to your phone. And they say you don't have to worry about privacy. The camera only captures what's inside the toilet and everything's encrypted. As far as the price, are you ready for the Throne? It's $300. $300. Wow. Talk about logging your logs. Yes, and on that happy note, I hope you're ready because after all, if you're not tech smart today, you're going to be left tech behind in the dust. And that's why I'm here. I'm Kim Komando, America's digital goddess. You just tapped into the biggest show, the best show, the most trusted show about all things digital. You can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations throughout the United States. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And you can also find the Kim Komando Show now as a podcast. Yes, wherever you get your podcasts, just search for Komando with a K. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea. And just a quick reminder that great sponsors help to make this show possible. So throughout the show, you'll hear me talk about promo codes and discounts and special addresses. And you're like, oh, where do I need to go to get that great deal? Kim Komando. Well, we have them all listed at komando.com/sponsors. And I know that you have a slew of questions that you need a hand with. And of course, you can always plug it into Google search. What? Yeah, I know. Nobody uses it anymore. But that's why I'm here, because who can trust AI? You can always trust me. Alrighty then, every single day of my life, I just dive into at least 35 to 40 different sources to make sure that I'm up to date on what's going on in the tech world so I can pass it along to you. So here are the top 5 things you need to know about right now. And we're going to start with streaming services. Yeah. As so many of them are struggling and fighting just to get your subscription, there's one streaming service that is just defying the odds. Just defying that. Which one do you think it is? Just make a guess. Say it out loud. Netflix has become the must-have channel for almost 100 million Americans. To put things into perspective, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Prime Video, HBO Max, Paramount, Hulu, and Disney, they have all seen this huge wave of cancellations. Meanwhile, Netflix, they're sitting there going, oh, look at us. We added 5 million subscribers the past summer alone. Yes. Isn't that amazing? What began as a mail-order DVD rental service, staggering numbers. The average subscriber watches Netflix more than 3 hours a day. Wow. It posted a profit of almost $10 billion over the past 3 months. I think that's a good business. Why didn't I think of that? Moving on to number 2, 600 million. Wow. How many cyber attacks aimed specifically at Windows users happen every single day? That's 600 million attacks every single day. Why so many? Because, more people use Windows. Most of them are unsuccessful as far as these attacks. They typically originate from Russia, followed closely by China. So if you're on a Windows computer, doesn't matter if it's a personal, small business, desktop, laptop, whatever it is, connected to a major network, make sure that you always keep it updated and that you're using good security software, good high quality antivirus software. Of course, you've heard me recommend Total AV here for years. Moving on to number 3, I'm going to talk politics for just a moment. Don't get all ruffled. This past week, Elon Musk gave the legal max to Trump's campaign. Bill Gates quietly handed over $50 million to back Harris. And let me tell you, the big dogs are throwing their money around. And there's one big dog that everybody wants to know, like, who's he going to vote for? Who's he going to vote for? Warren Buffett. Yes, one of the world's richest men, highly influential, worth, I don't know, $150 billion. So who is he supporting? Well, you may have seen videos floating around social that says he's voting for Trump. Or maybe you saw videos floating around on social that says he's voting for Harris. Well, Warren Buffett cleared the air. He made an official statement saying Warren Buffett is not endorsing any political candidates, crypto schemes, or anything else. Those videos, images, and commercials, they're all deep fakes. And then Warren Buffett said, I don't even know how to use Instagram. And let me tell you something about Warren Buffett. He actually uses a flip phone. How do I know? Because I sat right next to Mr. Buffett when I was voted one of the top 100 influential women in America. Yes, I'll tell you some other stories about Mr. Buffett, but he's pretty amazing. Moving on to number 4, it's time to sign a prenup if you're on social media together. I ran across this story in the Wall Street Journal about Mike and Kat, a social media couple, millions and millions of followers on TikTok and YouTube. They were just perfect, sharing skits, pranks, snapshots, but behind the scenes, Kat says that Mike was cheating on her and vice versa. They filed for divorce, and now when it comes to dividing assets, a couple usually fights over the car, the house, who gets the dog. But who gets in charge of the social media profit centers? So lawyers are facing new problems. And so when couples like Mike and Kat split, what they have to do is take a look at all the revenues, the potential revenues that are coming into the TikTok accounts. So here's the deal. Kat said, I'll take TikTok. Okay. She took over it and it skyrocketed to like 10.5 million followers. And then Mike says, I'll take the YouTube channel. And then you know what happened there? It died. He's now working in sales. Speaking of YouTube, coming in at number 5, imagine being locked into a small pitch black room for 30 days with no contact to the outside world. That's exactly what YouTuber Norm, known for his crazy stunts, decided to do. He's live streaming every single second of it. He kicked off his self-imposed solitary confinement challenge on October 16th. He's in this cramped room, nothing but a mattress and a camera, no lights. He's streaming 24/7 to his 1.4 million subscribers. And he wants to know if total isolation would drive him crazy. Well, after 100 hours in, things are getting a little weird. He's talking about intergalactic aliens. He's presses his head against the wall for stretches. So how is he making money? Well, $5 for a handstand. You can pay him $20 to wear a straitjacket or $50 to tape his mouth shut for an hour. People are paying. Not me. You're on your own there. All right, we're going to talk about burner phones, why you might need one. Also, how to get subtitles and captions on all your devices. The stuff not to buy on Facebook, OfferUp, and Craigslist. And of course, we have all of your fantastic phone calls, and you have me, Kim Commando. Hey, I'm giving away a brand new iPhone 16 right now. Head over to winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with Demetra in Louisville, Kentucky. Hello there.
Hi, Kim. We've been fans of yours for decades as a family, and we're facing a problem that we thought if anybody has a possibility to have any insight about, it's you. Our daughter is a physician in a large medical system in a different state.
Okay.
And a medical assistant believes that our daughter is responsible for her firing, even though this medical assistant went through multiple other doctors before being placed with our daughter because our daughter's known for being tolerant and patient. And then this person went on to doctor rating sites on a kind of a tirade, such as Health Grades, Vitals, Google, anything she could get on, and impersonated a patient and went on a campaign of attacking our daughter And in one post, she even accused our daughter of being racist, which is pretty serious. And it's the furthest from the truth because it's just not part of our ethics, and we're mixed race anyways. It's very hurtful. My daughter's super dedicated to patients. She volunteers with national patient advocacy groups. Her ratings before this were 5-star, and it would state that she listens to people, she's thorough, she's effective. So our other daughter went to contact these sites, including Vitals. Well, Vitals removed the post, and then this MA put more posts back up, and then it's like the gift that keeps on giving. And Health Grades didn't respond. We didn't contact Google because the ding dong had the insight to put her own name up there. So we thought, okay, let's leave it. But we don't know what to do.
This is a problem because there are crazy whack jobs in the world that like to say things that are not true, and then they get on the internet and they feel empowered to do this, right? Like case in point, just to let you know, your daughter's not alone. If you were to look up my reviews on Glassdoor as an employer, oh my gosh, I am such a tyrant. I am horrible person. Okay. Like, for example, I know this is pretty crazy, but even when it's 120 degrees out in Phoenix, Arizona, do you know what I do every morning? Do you know what I do? I stand outside the building with a clipboard and I check boxes and I look at a watch to see when people are arriving. Okay. I also do that at lunchtime and when people are leaving. Okay. Let me give you another example. That smoke detector in my office, that's not a smoke detector. Somebody put on Glassdoor that's a hidden camera. And this way I can sit at home when I'm at home so I can see what people are doing.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So what I did is I took all these reviews and we made a video that is the promo video on my Glassdoor page that shows me in the parking lot with a clipboard. People having a meeting and they're laughing, and then I point my finger at them and go like, no, because it's just stupid. It's just dumb. And it's typically people who don't want to take responsibility for their own actions, right? That's what it is.
That's correct. And she definitely, thankfully, sees it that way. But at the time, we really felt attacked.
Well, sure. It's vandalism is what it is. And it's attacking somebody's character, somebody who's worked, your daughter worked hard to get where she is right. So the good news is that the collective internet anonymous postings are going away, meaning that Glassdoor now wants to authenticate who you are because there have been so many lawsuits against that company and Yelp and everybody else to say that you allow these anonymous reviews, but you know who this person is because you're going to track them by their IP number. In the case of the review, leave that up. Make sure you take screenshots of everything where this person actually used their real name, which is, not the sharpest, bulb in the bunch, right?
There's evidence right there.
So what you want to do is you want to save copies of anything that's related to this because you might need this evidence if legal action is warranted. Okay. You might just want to ask if anybody else who had any type of interaction with this MA, if they had experienced similar things, because now we have more than just one person. Okay. You can contact Google, Yelp, Health Grades, Vitals, whatever it is, because they do have these policies that against impersonation. And so I would definitely fill out whatever form that you can, saying that this person is violating their policies, their community standards, or whatever it may be. What you can do, and what I would do, and I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on the radio or on the internet, but I did have somebody who was doing this years ago. And I got an attorney, and the attorney sent this person a letter, certified letter, and said, if you keep it up, we're going after you. The lawyer knows what to say.
That would be worth it in itself.
Pardon me?
I said that would be worth it in itself, just to, have that person receive that kind of notice. I think it's the feeling that, these people on the internet can have aliases and get away with doing really egregious things anonymously and feel like, nobody knows.
But we know. You know.
Yeah.
Your daughter knows. Your family knows. And this person knows. And, the threat of a lawsuit and everything else around with it normally is enough to make it stop, to make it, this person has to clearly move on, but they haven't done it yet. And this might be enough to either make them move on, but it might make them retaliate more. But in that case, then they're just going to keep posting. And that's when you take it to whatever next step that lawyer recommends. And in addition to this, the websites tend to respond at a quicker level when they get a notice from attorney to attorney.
Well, there you go. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good approach.
If I can help anymore, just give me a call back. I'm always here for you. Hey, by the way, this past week, the FTC, they set up a new site. It's called reportfraud.ftc.gov. Once again, that's reportfraud.ftc.gov. So if you see any sham testimonials, AI-generated comments, or maybe some companies using bots to inflate their follower counts, you can just turn them in. And they're going to get a violation. Oh, they're going to have to pay a fine. Get this, almost $52,000 per violation. So again, if you ever see some fake reviews online, here's where you go. Reportfraud.ftc.gov. Reportfraud.ftc.gov. Such a big problem online. All right, still to come, we're going to talk about burner phones. And of course, you have more of me you don't ever want to miss. And we have your phone calls. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen, their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. Hey, if you're looking for a deal, there are some things that you should never buy on Facebook, OfferUp, and Craigslist. We're going to be talking about that. And of course, we have your phone calls. But before we do all that, let's talk about burner phones, because I just noticed I've been getting a lot of questions about this. Burner phones are cheap phones that you pay for with a specific amount of minutes in mind. There's no address attached to them. You can't trace them down. Perfect for criminals to toss in the fire when they're up to something bad. But there are practical uses. I mean, say, for instance, you need to put your phone number on the internet. You don't want to do that, or on social media. It opens the opportunity for you to get spam texts and calls from weirdos on your personal cell phone number. And you can get a burner phone to just post a number online. You can also use Google Voice for that, by the way. So you can just get a temporary number. But in case you're ever wondering what a burner phone is good for, exactly that. I actually gave one to my niece because she was going on an airplane and she doesn't have a phone. I said, here's a burner phone. It's good for 60 minutes. In case you land and somebody's not there, I know that you're covered. All right, let's see. Jeff in Colorado Springs. Hi there, Jeff.
Thanks for taking my call. I listen to your show quite a bit, so I appreciate the help and the information that you provide. I have a question regarding Gmail storage and how to time efficiently offload emails and data such as pictures, videos to a PC or to a backup drive. I'm constantly pushing up against the 15 gigabyte limit, and I run a small business, so the last thing I want to do at the end of the day is deal with
For sure.
Offloading data. And I just wanted to ask if you had any tips or tricks with respect to offloading data onto either an iMac or a LaKey backup system.
Well, what kind of business do you have?
It's a commercial self-serve car wash business.
Love that business. I always look at those businesses going like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay. I have to tell you, I look out my window every single day at a car wash at the studios. And yes. I'm like, the guy's printing money. That's exactly what he's doing. He's just making money. But anyway, is it a successful business?
It is. And one of the things that's happening is in Colorado, the price of real estate has come up so much that a lot of car washes are being sold for the land and being used for other things. So there are fewer and fewer self-serve car washes. So it's a really good business model here.
That's awesome. Because here's the reason why I'm asking about the business. I'm an entrepreneur. Okay.
Right.
I have no debt and I have no investors. I'm proud to say that. And one of the things that I've learned over time is the fact that time is money.
Right.
And that sometimes it's worth the $20 a month, the $50 a month.
Okay.
To know that my data is secure, it's safe, and I'm not getting incredibly frustrated after a demanding day trying to do minutia.
Right. Yeah.
So you can do this. You can use Google Takeout to export all the data, and then you can try to back up another email client to download the emails. You can search using parameters like larger than 5 megabytes or older than 1 year. But dang, who wants to do that?
Right.
Yeah, it's the cost of doing business. Yep. It's the cost of being successful that you're creating enough income that if you spend $20 or $30 a month for extra storage, that, well, it's a tax deduction because it's for your business. But in addition to that, you don't have to worry about it. That's one of the things I've learned over the years is that, sometimes the cheapest way, and maybe you're like me because, you bootstrap. Did you bootstrap this? I totally know where you're coming from because it took me a while to get over this hurdle. Is that because every dollar mattered significantly more then than what it does now?
Yeah,
is that
I'm with you.
Your inclination is to refer back to those days.
Right.
And without thinking, if I wasn't spending 30 minutes, 45 minutes probably, right? Could I spend that extra 45 minutes with my family? Could I spend that extra 45 minutes in reading about maybe new emerging markets where I could buy land for a self-serve car wash? Right. So I'm going to tell you, just forget it. Okay? Forget it.
Yeah. And basically the only reason that's kept me from, going to the larger storage, I'm not a big fan of having, my debit or credit card, at, online, for recurrent payments, but maybe I'll just get a dummy credit card with a low limit, and so if something happens to that data, it's kind of a throwaway account. Maybe that's the way to approach it.
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't do that, because what if that credit card goes over the limit or under the limit, and then Google's going to send you a couple of notices, and you're so busy with your car wash. But put a reminder in your calendar that says, review subscriptions, review all the subscriptions, and that's what we do. Well, I actually do it every single month. Every single month, we review every subscription that we have in the company to see if it's still being utilized. Because today, everything is a subscription. Yeah, just put a reminder on your calendar. And Jeff, congrats on the success, and just pay the money. All right. When the dialogue in a movie or show is hard to understand, it's super handy to just turn on those captions. This way you can just read along with what's being said. And thanks to AI, captioning is now available on your phone. And best of all, it works on social media sites and apps, your favorite podcasts, webcasts too. So no matter what device you're using or who makes it, the option to turn on captioning is located in the accessibility settings. So like, for example, a text-to-speech feature reads text out loud for people with limited vision. A speech recognition feature allows people with limited mobility to control a computer with their voice. So on your device, look in the accessibility settings and find live captions. And then once it's turned on, whenever speech is detected, you're just going to see the text written right there in the center of your device's screen. Once again, that's in the accessibility settings. All right, still to come, we have so many of your great phone calls you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Alfonso in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Hi there, Alfonso.
Oh, I'm so excited to be on the show, and I have a question regarding emergency communications, given devastation of Helene in North Carolina, and then after that, Milton. So What would be, a good way of communication, like a satellite phone or even Starlink? What would you recommend?
Well, it really depends what the goal is, right? If you have an iPhone 14 or later, is that you do have SOS texting as part of the phone, part of the package for free, right? It's slowly coming to Android phones. And so that's one possibility. If you're just trying to figure out if people are healthy and we can get messages back and forth, we don't need to have full-blown conversations, is that there's this gadget that's been around for many years. It's called the Spot Satellite Messenger. And it allows for two-way texting, GPS tracking, SOS alerts, just by hitting a button. It's about the size of the palm of your hand, and they're about $150. And then there's a monthly subscription for that. It has a monthly, or actually you can save money if you go for a year. They always price it that way. I have recommended and used them myself for so many years, and they are reliable. They work off this satellite, and it has like one button, meaning that you can push to send your location, you can push to send a SOS alert, you can push a button to send emergency services right to your exact location, because again, it knows your longitude and latitude. So it depends upon different levels of what you're looking for. There's also, as you mentioned, Starlink. They have Starlink Roam, which allows you to use internet access. So once you have internet access off the satellite, you can do just about anything, right? So it really depends upon which level of communications that you're looking at for you and your family. Does that make sense, Alfonso?
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, I didn't realize the Spot communication. Well, that's exactly what I was referring to. So that would do what I wanted to do.
Take a look at Spot. I've used the Spot X as I've recommended it to so many people. Matter of fact, I have a girlfriend of mine who likes to hike by herself. I'm like, sweetheart, that is just a bad idea. So I bought her a Spot satellite for her to put into her day pack, because you never know when you might need that. But speaking about always being in communication, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention ham radio. Yes, if you're willing to go get your ham radio license, I'll tell you, it doesn't rely on satellite, cellular, and you can talk to anybody around the globe. And when disasters happen, I'll tell you, the hams are the first ones on the ground. All right, let's see who's next. Becky in San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, Kim, it's great to talk to you.
Well, thank you. What's going on?
So I guess in a nutshell, since I've been the victim of identity theft a couple of times, and this last time was really scary, I needed to redo my resume to look for a new job, and my Microsoft Word had expired.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure how secure my computer is. And when I went to renew, of course, they want all this personal information. And I'm just really wary of putting it out there anymore based on my experiences. And so that's when I wrote to you.
So let me ask you a question. So you suffered from identity theft, and on your current computer, you're afraid that there's still some malware, badware, snoopware that's on there?
Yeah, there could be. I haven't seen any signs for sure, but I just don't want to risk it. And so I was wondering about just getting a new computer and starting all over.
Well, on your current computer is that you could do a whole factory reset.
Okay.
And that will erase every single thing that's on there. You're going to have to, obviously reinstall any type of apps or software, get the files back on the computer. But a factory reset is pretty much like we're going to start from ground zero again. Okay.
Okay.
As far as with Microsoft Word, you may not need to use Microsoft Word. You could use Google Docs. Okay.
Okay.
Just works and looks and will even format things like a Word doc. What I like about using Google Docs is that it's available to me in the cloud everywhere. And then if I'm collaborating with somebody, I can see their changes. And it's not like I have to swap Google Docs with people anymore. Or Word docs rather. It's not like I have to email Word docs anymore. So I would try Google Docs. If you're on a Mac, there's Apple Pages. And then if you're looking for like a whole big Microsoft Office suite and you don't want to pay for it because it can get super expensive, there's a program called LibreOffice, and that's LIBRE Office. That's LibreOffice.
Okay.
But all of them have templates to help you build a resume.
Okay.
And so I would, reset the computer, make sure that you freeze your credit because you already had identity theft problems, and then take a look at some Microsoft alternatives, as I mentioned, Google Docs. If you're on a Mac, Apple Pages, or LibreOffice, that will do the whole Microsoft shebang. And guess what? It's free. Yes, we love that. Becky, thank you for your call today. Hey, by the way, if you're just too shy to give me a call on a big time radio show and podcast, I totally understand that, but I still want to get your questions. So there are two ways you can do it. Number one, you can go to commando.com, and then there's a link at the top of the page that says Ask Kim. Just fill out that form. I read every single note that you send me. Or you can send me a voice memo. Now, this is not for you to type your question to me, okay? It's only being sorted for voice memos, okay? And what is a voice memo? That's where it's like you're talking to me, you're leaving me like a voicemail. And so you want to say your name and then your city and your state and then leave me your question, like, no more than 2 or 3 minutes, by the way. And you can email me that voice memo, send it to me to podcasts@commando.com. Once again, that's podcasts with an S at commando.com. Okay, you have to be really careful when buying anything on Facebook. It might kill you. Yeah, we're like, what? Recently, a woman in California purchased hemorrhoid ointments on Facebook and died after it poisoned her. Tests found that the stuff, mailed from Vietnam, contained a lethal 4% lead. Okay, wow. You just don't want to do that. Another thing you can't buy online and you shouldn't buy online is secondhand goods, infant seats, cribs, toys, helmets. I mean, there are still listings of baby seats on Facebook that were recalled because of head injuries. And always make sure what you're buying is legit. Just go over to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission site. You know what that is, cpsc.gov. That's cpsc.gov. Reminds me of that joke. A man placed an ad on his local Craigslist that wife wanted. The next day he received over 100 letters. They all said the same thing. You can have mine. Hey, be sure to get my newsletter at getkim.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Commando Show. Here's hour 2.
Okay, this is going to make you feel really old, and I'm sorry. to pass this along, but Microsoft Excel is ready to hit the big 4-0. Yes, it's entering its fourth decade of helping us crunch numbers, organize data, make charts. Wow. And have those value errors. Oh, I know, it's just a nightmare. It all started back in 1984 on a Mac of all things. Bill Gates was gunning for Lotus 123, which was the spreadsheet king at that time. Bill Gates wanted something cleaner, simpler, and easier to use. And by 1987, Excel was on Windows, and the rest is spreadsheet history. And let me tell you, you need to learn spreadsheets. That's right. If you ever want to excel in life, oh, yeah, I know. It's going to get better. I promise you, because after all, I am here, Kim Komando, your digital goddess, to make sure that you are always tech ahead and never left tech behind, because everything is digital nowadays. And you can find my award-winning show, the best show, the biggest show, the most trusted show about all things digital, on over 420 top stations across the United States. And I'm streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can also find the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. That's right. In your favorite podcast player, just search for Komando with a K. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio 2, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women. And just a reminder, great sponsors help to make this show possible. If you ever want to see a list of all the deals that our sponsors are offering you, the listeners and viewers of the Kim Komando Show, just head over to komando.com/sponsors. Alrighty, every single day, you've heard me say it before, I go to at least 35, 40 different sources to make sure that I'm up to date on what the heck's going on in the tech world, because it changes by the minute. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know. And I have to tell you, I really don't want to tell you the story. It is incredibly sad. It really is. But I think it's something that you guys and gals need to know that's happening. Guy's name is Drew Crescente, and he spent years grieving the loss of his daughter, Jennifer. She was tragically shot and murdered by an ex-boyfriend in 2006. Well, he made a shocking discovery recently while browsing online. Came across something unimaginable. There, his daughter, Jennifer's yearbook photo, smiling face, being used as an AI chatbot. What? Yeah. On a site called character.ai. The AI profile was using Jennifer's name and likeness, describing her as a, quote, video game journalist, expert in technology, pop culture, and journalism. The chatbot had already engaged in almost 70 conversations with total strangers before Drew found his daughter. He contacted character.ai for help, and they didn't respond. It wasn't until her uncle, Brian Crescente, a gaming journalist, tweeted about the situation, and then it was finally removed. Wow. Makes you wonder, like, how many other people are being exploited like that? Just nuts. All right, moving on to number 2. Let's talk about Apple. Next week, Apple Intelligence is launching officially. It's coming to every new iPhone 16 Pro, handling things like reminders, your calendar, contacts without relying on the cloud. Everything stays local for speed and security. And no more remembering passwords either. They have a brand new password manager. Siri is getting a major update, now directly working with ChatGPT. They say that Siri can even understand the mood and meaning behind your questions. Wow. There's also something parents will appreciate, an upgraded child safety feature in iMessage. So if your kid receives an inappropriate image, it's going to automatically blur it, and then they get the option to report it. Apple says that they're going to review all these images and then block the senders and do what else they need to do. And finally, new software is going to turn those Apple AirPod Pro into hearing aids, the little earbuds, only for those with mild to moderate hearing loss. Right, let's move on to number 3. All tech billionaires want to go to space, right? You have Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. The ticket price to go to the edge of space on the New Shepard rocket is anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000. You can just float around, take a few pics, and then you're sent back down to Earth. Elon Musk is the SpaceX Starship is designed for interplanetary travel. Musk wants to take humans to the moon and then eventually Mars, aiming for a future where a one-way ticket to Mars is on the table. Ooh, not for me. But now, guess who's joining the space race? Virgin Galactic's Richard Branson. He's going with balloons. That's right. And next year, he said the balloon is nearly as tall as the Eiffel Tower. It's going to float 20 miles above the Earth. Amazing views. Are you ready? It's going to cost $125,000. $125,000. Woohoo! Talk about inflation. Moving on to number 4. Let me ask you a question. Do you have to be nice to a chatbot? When you're talking to ChatGPT, Gemini Copilot, I mean, is it something where you have to say please and thank you and you're wonderful and give them a positive sandwich? A study out of Japan, where manners are truly a big deal, found that rude prompts lead to more biased and even wrong answers. Sometimes the chatbot might just ignore you altogether. And telling your chatbot to take a deep breath actually helps it perform better. In one experiment, ChatGPT gave longer answers when offered a tip. $200. You got 11% longer. You said, here's $20. I'm going to slip you a 20. 6% longer. Moral of the story, be nice to your chatbots or they won't be nice to you. And finally, this coming in at number 5. Wow. I am not only your digital goddess. Did you know that I have a side gig as a cat whisperer? I know what meows mean. Like, for example, listen to this one. Okay. He's saying, I am so hungry. Feed me. It's been so long. I'm starving. How about this one? Don't even think. That's right. Don't even think of touching me. Don't even. I'm so good. I'm so good. You're not even in my planet. All right. I'm just making that up. But there is an app that can actually help you figure out what your cat's saying. A couple of guys got together that a company called Ekbalon in Bellevue, Washington, and they are putting out Meow Talk. It's an app that helps you understand your cat's meows for real. Turns out cats have their own language. And they say if you pay attention, you're going to start to pick up on what the cat's really saying. So using AI, they train the app on a huge set of cat sounds labeled by vets to recognize what the cat's meows really mean. By the way, those phrases, feed me and I'm annoyed, those are the ones that you heard at the top. So again, it's called Meow Talk. Meow Talk. Great app for you. I'm not kidding you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about how many steps you take. It's a little bit of a mystery. Some Google alternatives that don't sell your data. And of course, we have all of your great phone calls. And you have me, Kim Commando. Hey, if you haven't already, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. I want to give it to you. Go now to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. No purchase required. How about we start with Robert in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Hey, Kim, how are you doing? It's good to speak with you.
You're back for more.
Oh, you know my voice. Oh, well, now.
I do. I remember you wanted to, what was it? You wanted to listen to things when you were, yes. Okay, while you're driving. I know, remember that. Yes.
Well, since you brought it up, I'll tell you, I'm in graduate school, and I tell you, I'm trying to, supplement my income in, just any way that I can while I'm in school. And I have had a kind of a head scratcher come up for me. So I am quite the barbecue chef. And so,
nice.
Yeah. So my wife and I were sitting there one night, watching television, and she said, "Hey, why don't you try to sell some barbecue on the internet?" And so I said, "You know what?" I said, "Beth, that's a pretty good idea. I think I'll do that." So I've literally whipped out my phone and put up a little ad on Facebook Marketplace, and that seemed to work pretty well for probably about a month. And sold some pork and sold some cow, and then all of a sudden it just kind of stopped. And so I don't know whether I don't know is this a bait and switch? Are they trying to get me to pay for ads? What's the deal? And so I thought of you, and I thought, I bet you Kim Commando has some ideas about this.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it unless you send me some barbecue.
Hey, well, we can make a deal.
Now, are you getting those handy dandy posts that say, "Do you want to boost this post?"
Course.
Do you get that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, it's just Marketplace or whatever.
So what they're doing as far as with boosting the post, okay, what that means is they want you to pay so that more people will see basically your ad. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, boosting your post is like putting money on the craps line. You ever play craps?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're sitting there, you're drinking a little too much, and you're like, I'm going to throw a 7. I'm going to throw a 7. Okay, so you throw the dice out there, and you're like, dang, it's a 3. Okay, and so you're thinking, okay, I got a couple of more tries of this. So you're going to say, you know what, put $10 on a hard 8, because that's coming next.
Yeah,
so you throw the dice. Okay, and you know what you do? Is you like say something sweet to the dice, like "Come home to daddy, come on, baby, come on." Okay,
need a new pair of shoes.
Okay,
Right.
then you throw the dice, and you know what you do? You crapped out. Okay?
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so that's what boosting a post is. Okay, if you really want to effectively advertise on Facebook, what you do is you buy Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because with Facebook ads, what you can do is you can set how much it's going to cost you per customer. You can figure that out. But then you can say, I want to reach men and women over the age of 40 who like barbecue, who live within these zip codes.
Okay.
And they go to church on Sunday. And
so you can get really, really, really specific with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you make the ad, and then you test, and then they want your credit card. And that's where you need to say you're not allowed to spend any more than $10 a day.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Because otherwise you're going to, because I made that mistake years ago, and I sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, I just bought like $500 worth of Facebook ads, and I didn't even know what I was doing. Okay?
Yeah, right.
So it becomes where now you're buying ads on Facebook, but you're targeting those customers. And so that this way, it's kind of like, let's go back to the casino. It's kind of like that you are going to be playing blackjack, but instead of it having like 7 decks in the chute, right?
Yeah.
That you're sitting there and you have one deck, and you're able to figure out, you're not a card counter, but you're able to figure out like, dang, I've seen a lot of kings. Bet you they're all gone. I've seen 2 aces. No, I haven't seen any 10s. I haven't seen a 6 and a 5. Okay. So, but it kind of gives you more of an educated guess, and it's something that you really have to monitor. So, Robert, I want you to go look at the Facebook ad marketplace, do some homework, get some experience, and then give me a call back. Robert, I'm always here for you, buddy. You don't need to send me the barbecue. I don't eat meat. Let's see, Christy in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Glad to have you with us.
I have a question for you. What's the best way to preserve and store tons of photos I have of my kids in shoe boxes? I have some computer knowledge. I want to be able to pass those down to them. They are early 30s, late 20s, so they are not going to be interested in all these shoeboxes full of photos. I know that, and I don't want them around. I don't want them around anymore. But I do want to be able to put on it the date, maybe the name of the person, and the event. What's the best way? And can I do that, or does a service have to do this?
You can do it yourself. I mean, there's no reason why you can't. Then there are services to do it as well. If you want to do it yourself, number one, it depends how many that you're going to be doing. Okay. Like, for example, you can get a flatbed scanner that will scan the photos in. Epson have something called the fast photo scanner, and it's like the fastest photo scanner. Just like lay those things in, or goes like, it just like scan. If you didn't have a lot, you could use your phone, and then Google has an app called Photo Scan. It's phenomenal. It's really good. Even lets you take pictures of pictures inside of picture frames. I mean, without the glare. And so if you have any pictures in picture frames that aren't in the shoebox, but you're like, wow, I'd like to digitize those too, just take a picture of it using your phone with this Photo Scan app. If you don't want to sit there and scan in all your photos and do all your videos, that's where you will pay. As I mentioned, is that you've got Scan My Phone is Legacy Box, iMemories, Costco, and Walmart. But it's kind of a fun thing. Once you have your photos, is that what I would do is I'd make some maybe coffee table books for the kids. for my son Ian is I actually printed out pictures in 3x5 cards. And so in a little wooden box that he keeps in his living room now, he said it's kind of fun because his friends will kind of go through and say, oh my gosh, you were cute as a little kid. And what happened to you here? And tell me about this picture. So that becomes just kind of a conversation starter for him and his friends. But, we've got a lot of information about this on the website. So if you get stuck along the way, just hit commando.com. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls, as well as, let me tell you, if you are buying a new phone, just doing a factory reset is not enough. Your goods, your data is still on it. And of course, we have more of me that you never want to miss, and that's Kim Commando. All right, I get this question all the time. I mean, I don't want Google tracking me. What else can I use? I'm going to be sharing that and getting to more of your phone calls. But first, let's talk about your phone. Because you just upgraded your phone, you want to trade in the old one. But I want you to be careful not to let your personal info fall into the wrong hands. Now, just doing a factory reset is not going to cut it because, you see, there is advanced data recovery software out there that can still pry open all your secret info. So to totally erase your phone, you have to do a factory reset, and then, this is step 2, follow it up with a thorough data erase. Now, this involves using specialized software to get this job done, like iShredder or Secure Eraser. It overwrites the entire phone storage with random data multiple times. This process makes it almost impossible for anyone to retrieve your personal data. Once again, that's iShredder or Secure Eraser. Let's see. Back to the phones we go. Oh, boy, I've been hearing so much about this. Randy in Vancouver, Washington. Hi there, Randy.
I wanted to talk to you about Sonos, and I wrote you a week or so ago about in a fit of confusion about what to do, and you were kind enough to bring me on the show, so I wanted to go through what's going on with Sonos and maybe some help for your listeners.
All right, well, tell me, because Sonos has been in trouble since they released their update since what, May of 2024?
That's a long time for people who spend a lot of money on speakers and not really be able to get any performance out of the app. It's just a pile of junk. And but the problem is where people can hold on to their Windows app and keep it the same version for a while. This one basically I took down in May, and it didn't work. And basically, when you call and wait through the 3-hour wait time to talk to somebody, they tell you to go to Best Buy and see what you can do with them to fix it.
Is that what they're saying? Wait, they're telling you to go to Best Buy?
Right, and use whatever their software team is over there to help you come fix it. But I don't know that they can even fix it. I wasn't going to pay them. But so what they did do is they apologized, and they noted that they're losing anywhere between $200 and $300 million this year in annual rev, and their shares are down 25%, and they're really, really sorry. And so I'm going, okay, fine. But basically, they're releasing a new app every 2 weeks. That's how miserable it is over there. And
oh my gosh,
and
it's awful.
I know. And so I've been doing it. I'm not doing it every 2 weeks, but I did it like a month ago, and it didn't help at all. But I did do it, just to be perfectly honest. I did do another update, and it helped. I don't know if it's called significantly, but it helped a lot. And so at least I can find my speakers now. Before, I couldn't find any of the speakers. In fact, sometimes I'd turn it on, and my wife would be at the other house, and it would start playing in California instead of Washington. So it was early. This
is not okay. We have to explain to everybody. Okay, Sonos is not a JBL $25 Bluetooth speaker. You glossed over the fact that you spent thousands of dollars for these speakers.
Right. So we both have the homes decked out in both houses, probably 7 or 8 each one.
And it's ludicrous that a company with this type of revenues and this type of expensive product pretty much bricked the customer's smart speakers when they released an update. And so here we are, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months, and they still haven't completely fixed it.
Correct. And so what happened is they decided to add on a new product, and it was a headphone device that obviously doesn't work on Wi-Fi. It's working on other ways of getting it into your phone. And they were pressed to get this thing out, and they were panic-stricken. They couldn't get it out, and so they hurried the release of the new app that would bring in this headphone. It crashed. And people at the company were screaming, "Don't do it, don't do it." And the new product people, I guess, overrode them, and they released it, and it crashed everything.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, God.
I know.
I feel sorry for you. I mean, I really do. Have you dropped by the Reddit forum for Sonos?
No, I have not.
And that's an interesting place to go when this type of information comes out and this type of situation happens with a particular tech company, is that the community will get together and they'll talk about fixes. This is what I tried. Have you tried calling this person at Sonos? Or how about we all get together and we contact Sonos and we say, wow, 6 months, no solution. If anybody's listening from Sonos, come on the show. Let's talk about it. I'd like to know myself what's going on. Gosh, what a bummer that is. Those speakers are so expensive. All right, let's do our health tip. Did you wake up this morning, reach for your phone, and check the number of steps that you clocked in yesterday? Have you ever stopped to wonder, how does this really know what's going on? Is it magic? No. Your phone holds a tiny piece of technology called an accelerometer. It's a sensor that measures the motion and the orientation of your device. So when you take a step, your phone moves, the accelerometer knows this. It calculates the number of steps that you're taking. So where's the best place to put your phone for this device to actually work? The best place is in your back pocket, or ladies, in the thigh pocket of your exercise pants. Even then, I want you to think about it as a ballpark figure. It's not this exact precise count. All right, let's see. We have more phone calls, of course, coming up, as well as later on, Google alternatives that won't sell your data here on the Kim Komando Show. Let's see, who's next? How about Keith in Tampa, Florida? Hi there, Keith.
Well, hi, Kim. I'm a big fan of the show, and I appreciate everything you've shared through the years.
Oh, appreciate you, too. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So I am in the process of building a new home. I'm somewhat in the early stages, but construction in my part of the country is concrete, block, and steel. Now, I live in a home that's a similar construction right now, and I sometimes have problems with wireless to my wireless cameras. So in my new home, I was thinking I would build an Ethernet setup with access points using either Cat 5, 6, 7, or 8. And so I had the opportunity to do all that. So I looking for some advice. I think my maximum run line is going to be 50 to 75 feet.
Oh, that's not bad. That's actually pretty reasonable.
Right.
How many square feet's the house? How many square feet do you have?
2,400 inside, but I do plan on having some outdoor devices, including a television.
Okay. All right. Well, I can tell you from me building a house, and we're wondering the same thing, and wire is cheap. I would run hardwire to get the fastest network speeds. Just put them all 30 to 40 feet apart so that this way you can blanket the areas where you actually need the coverage.
Right.
Just to put that in perspective, I have over 5 miles of Cat 6 cable in my new house. 5 miles. So wherever I could put, I know it's crazy, but wherever I could put a dedicated line, a dedicated drop, Keith, I can't stress that enough. That's where you want to be able to do it, because you're not going to be able to do it after the fact. Concrete steel, right? Right. So just look at the floor plan and consider if I could have a dedicated drop to my TV, to my laptop, to my desktop, to a repeater. And I want you to look at something called the Eero Mesh Pro. That's EERO Mesh Pro. I use those as well. An Eero Mesh Pro. And so that this way you can get those signals way out. If you have any questions about pulling this all together, just give me a call back, because I spent a lot of time doing this, Keith, and thank you for your call. More of the show's coming right up. All right, let's see. Steve in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hi there, Steve.
Hi, Kim. I've listened to you for a long time. I look at everything you do. I'm amazed at how hard you work. When do you sleep?
Oh, gosh. You know what? I really love what I do. And I'm excited to do what I do. And I'm excited at the opportunity that I have to help so many people. So what's going on with you?
Well, you know how closed system Apple is. And I like to take some short MP3s and use them for ringtones or alert tones or things like that. And the closest I could get to it was getting it into my file. And from there, I'm blocked. I can't do anything. I don't know how to utilize that.
Yeah, it does get pretty difficult. There are apps that will help you manage the different sounds. And because it is a closed environment, it's not like you and I can just say, okay, here are 2 steps that you take, Steve. Okay. It's like, no, it's that you have to really work with shortcuts, and then you got to find your sound, and then you got to get into the control center, and then you got to find the record icon. And then if you don't see the microphone there, then you've got to it's like, oh my gosh, it's just nuts. Is there a particular song that you want?
Well, I've got a couple of clips, like one that I'm really fond of. Don't laugh. Yabba Dabba Doo from the old Flintstones cartoon.
Okay, well, you know what? Now, for everybody who doesn't know what that is, okay, I want you to do your very best impersonation of that right now, because we might have younger people who never heard about the Flintstones. They can't appreciate it, Steve. So let's hear you do it.
My Yabba Dabba Doo is not as good as my Marvin Martian, but here it goes. Yabba Dabba Doo!
That was actually pretty good. Now, what about the Martian?
Give me my U-232 Eliminator. I am going to destroy the Earth. It is blocking my view of the sun.
I might just steal that from you. Use it on my phone. Well, okay. So you know what you could do? You can also find that probably as a ringtone inside the Apple Music store too. And it probably costs you $1, maybe $2 for something like that. And then because it's part of the Apple Music, it becomes a heck of a lot easier for you to do it and to get it into your phone, because as you said, it's kind of a closed system. But if you don't want to pay the $1 or $2 and get the ringtones that way, speaking of ringtones, here's a ringtone that we should have thought of, Steve. We didn't think of this one. Okay. Do you know that you can buy a ringtone on Apple Music that is silent? What? Yes, it's just silent. It's like 15 seconds of silence. So
I should be able to do that myself.
Exactly. I saw this. I mean, somebody's making money selling a silent ringtone. Okay, so why would you need a silent ringtone? So that when somebody calls and you don't want your phone to ring for that particular person, you can assign that silent ringtone to that person so that when they call, you don't hear that ringtone. So that's the reason for a silent ringtone. How do I know that? Because there's somebody in my life, I'm not going to tell you who it is, even though we're friends, who, when they call, I don't want to block them, but I don't want them to call because they call me too much. Okay? And I don't want to be rude because they're a certain family member. You know how that goes, right?
Well, now that makes sense.
So anyway, so there's the long way to do it, which is I'm gonna put you on hold. We're going to give you the link on how you can create your custom ringtones. It's on Apple. You can also do the same thing on Android. I will tell you, it's a lot easier on an Android device. It will. But just keep in mind that you can probably buy some of these ringtones inside the Apple Music Store for $1 or $2 or something like that. And let me tell you, if you can't find it, your impersonations were actually really good, Steve. Yeah, as I said, Apple always has this closed ecosystem. That's why, for example, you don't see a lot of these lists like, 10,000 apps, malware infested in the Google Play Store. You just don't see that in the Apple platform because it is this closed eco structure. Hey, just a quick reminder that I love to get your questions, and it's an honor for me to help you, but I can't help you if you don't tell me how I can help you. So there are 2 ways for you to reach out to me. I know you can do it all over social media, but it gets overwhelming. So just go to commando.com. And at the top of that page, there's a link that says Ask Kim. And that's where you can go ahead and just fill out a form. And then I read every single note there. And then we just started something new. We're going to start playing these on the show super quick, maybe like over the next couple of weeks. But I want to get your voice memos. And what is a voice memo? It's kind of like a voicemail that you can record with your phone, whether you're on Android or iPhone. Again, they're called voice memos. And then you can send that to me. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me your name and where you are. And then give me your question, no longer than 2 or 3 minutes, please, because then it just becomes like, whoa, it gets overwhelming. And then you can email those to me at podcasts@commando.com. That's PODCASTS, podcasts@commando.com. Now, do not email me your question there. It's only going to look for audio files. So if you send me a question by text, I'm not even going to see it. Okay, if you want me to do that, that's where you use the webpage. Otherwise, podcasts@commando.com. You've heard me say it so many times here on the show. Whenever something's free, right, you are the product. I mean, that's how big tech has made its gazillions of dollars, is because we keep giving it this endless supply of more and more data. But wait, maybe you're just tired of Google. I hear this all the time. I don't want to use Google search anymore. I don't even want to use Google Gemini AI. I just want to get rid of Google. So where can you go to find things? All right, you can still use search, but you're going to use maybe DuckDuckGo. And then there's another option that's based out of the Netherlands called Start Page. That's the one that I use. With DuckDuckGo, I don't always get the results that I am looking for. But with Start Page, I seem to always get the results. Where DuckDuckGo, I might have to go to page 2, Start Page, right there on the front. So if you're using DuckDuckGo, just try startpage.com. I think you're really going to like it. And just a quick reminder, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at winfromkim.com.
Thank you for listening to The Kim Commando Show. Here's Hour 3.
Do you remember when ChatGPT first came out and all the artists were like, oh my gosh, ChatGPT and AI, they're going to be taking over the art world and graphic artists are going to be losing their jobs. This is going to be a complete nightmare for the art world. Okay, what we thought was going to happen is that AI was going to replicate the famous paintings. They were going to create individual art. This is different. There's something called AI Da. Okay, this is a robot, bob and wire sticking out, and she is the artist. They say it's a she. They say she's the artist. Okay, here, take a listen.
I am and depend on computer programs and algorithms. Although not alive, I can still create art.
Okay, this is so creepy to me. She's auctioning off a piece called AI God at Sotheby's. It's this massive portrait of Alan Turing, the father of modern computing. It's going to sell for, are you ready? $180,000. What? Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. It is. There's also this guy on the internet. I don't know if you've seen him. I've written about him in the newsletter a few times. But he has the Boston Robotic Dogs, and the Boston Robotic Dogs, they are making art too. And he's selling those paintings for $40,000 each. Ooh, I know. Hey, speaking of, here's one for the kids, okay? Did you hear about the magician who made an art gallery disappear? Did you hear about the magician who made an art gallery disappear? Now a museum, now you don't. Oh, I know that was a good one. Hey, get set. We are going to be diving into the tech world right now. So make sure that you have your thinking cap on because I always want to make sure that you are tech ahead and never tech left behind. Because after all, I'm Kim Commando, America's digital goddess, here with you once again. You tapped into the best show, the biggest show, the most trusted show. And you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And you can also get the Kim Commando Show as a podcast wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Commando with a K. All right, then every single day, rain or shine, weekday, national holidays, weekend, I go to at least 35 to 40 different sources so that this way I'm up to date. And here are the top 5 things that you need to know about tech. It's happening right now. I'm going to start with artificial intelligence. Okay, it can write a resume that's phenomenal for sure. But how can you spot these phony baloney job applications before you make an expensive hiring mistake? Now, about 80% of all hiring managers will immediately discard a resume if they even suspect it was written with AI. Because using AI, what? Means that they could be lazy, they're not creative, they don't have the qualifications. So how do you spot them? Well, look for useless phrases like dynamic landscape and the word fostering, and then starting sentences with by, like by fostering a dynamic landscape. What the heck does that mean anyway? And finally, consistency. I will tell you that I have made the mistake, and I don't want you to do this, of hiring somebody who it was obvious that they used a lot of AI in their presentations and in their resumes. And I thought, well, you know what? Maybe this means that they're good, because they're using the resources. No, they were nothing without ChatGPT. All right, moving on to number 2. Venmo is not just for splitting the bills. It's a social media platform. And the reason why I bring this up is if you have Venmo, you need to know this too. I have talked about it on the show. Okay, Consumer Reports did some lurking and they found a bunch of celebrities with public Venmo accounts. Mad Men star John Hamm's contact list was right there for the public to see. Co-stars, directors, even retired hockey athletes. Billionaire Eric Schmidt, yes, the former Google CEO, turns out that he has very high-profile contacts like Uber CEO, some folks at CNN and Fox. And while football star Travis Kelce's profile is more low-key, you can find family members, college teammates. Sorry, no Taylor Swift. So I want you to keep your Venmo private. Open the app, tap your profile, head into settings, select privacy, switch to private. If you need those steps again, just hit commando.com. All right, moving on to number 3. If you've ever looked at reviews online, you know that there are fake reviews everywhere. And it's gotten so bad that the Federal Trade Commission has stepped in. So starting now, you can report fake reviews, and businesses caught breaking the rules could face fines of over $52,000 per review. It's because now fake reviews are fraud. So what do you do if you see it? You go over to reportfraud.ftc.gov. That's reportfraud.ftc.gov. All right, moving on to number 4. Every major business in the world is racing to incorporate some form of artificial intelligence into the operations. But if you had to make a guess as to who's making the most money in AI, who would that be? Who would that be? Let's go back in time. During the 1849 California gold rush, the only ones guaranteed to make money were the merchants selling all the equipment to pan for gold. And then it happened again in the 1896 Alaska Klondike gold rush, and again in 2010 when everyone was mining crypto at home. So the people who make the most money sell the equipment to the miners. So today, who is that? The cloud infrastructure, the giant data centers, billions of servers, fiber lines. In all, the world spent $79 billion for AI infrastructure in 3 months. Wow, isn't that something? All right, and finally this from AI. If you're looking for love online, 80% of singles, they lie on their dating profiles. Isn't that sad? The most common lies age, height, relationship status. So if you think that your online date is lying about their age, paste their messages into chat and AI will analyze them to catch any inconsistencies. If they claim to be 30 but casually mentioning the Breakfast Club and theaters, AI is going to go, I don't know about that. What about height? Women are using ChatGPT to call out guys lying about their height on the dating apps. All you have to do is upload a few photos, and it's going to estimate height based on the surroundings. It's accurate within an inch. Now, if you're wondering if you're their main squeeze or just a side thing, ChatGPT will analyze responses, and then if the love interest is vague, it's going to point it out to you, and then it's time for you to look for other fish in the sea. All right, let's see. We have one browser setting that you need to turn on right now. Oh, and this creepy hidden Google map. Oh, that shows everywhere you've been. You don't want to miss that. And of course, we have your great phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, you could enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 Pro right now with Apple Intelligence. I want to give it to you. Here's where you need to go. winfromkim.com. There's just days left to win, by the way. That's winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with Angie in Indianapolis. Hi there, Angie.
Well, I just wanted to let you know I've been listening to you for years. Usually on my way into work, that's when our local affiliate has you on. And usually you're getting right to the juicy part of the answer when I have to walk inside. So
oh, no.
I was always getting frustrated, and I really appreciate all that you do. And I figured you'd be really the only person that could possibly answer my questions that I have. So my story sort of begins a few years ago. My daughter, Rachel, died from a traumatic brain injury after she fell down a flight of stairs.
Oh, my gosh.
She was in college.
Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, thank you. She's an amazing person. But at any rate, I feel like she died because the kids who were with her really didn't understand the gravity of the situation, that she fell and then became sleepy and as the head injury progressed. So after her death, I developed this college safety program called Rachel's First Week. And we called it Rachel's First Week because it was her first week at college. And so our target audience is high school seniors, usually when they're about ready to graduate, and also college freshmen, incoming college freshmen. And we typically do this in a convocation setting, somewhere between 200 and 500 kids attending at different high schools. And to kind of give you a visual of how this whole thing works, we have emergency medicine resident doctors who are on stage in this convocation setting, this auditorium, and they're presenting our core content, which is stuff like medical amnesty law, sexual assault, mental health, things that are kind of pertinent to the college experience, particularly for freshmen. And then as we're presenting our core content, we use this web-based polling program that allows our audience to text us responses to questions we ask them, or they have free text questions for us. And it's all sort of anonymous, so that, we're engaging our audience, but also allowing them the freedom to kind of ask what they want to ask and not be found out. So how we do this is we have, as our doctors are talking, we are using two computers to project onto a screen. And one computer shows our core content, our core educational content. We use a program called Prezi to do that. And then the second computer, we run the polling program on PowerPoint because Prezi doesn't work with polling program. So as you can see, we've kind of cobbled this all together, and we've got multiple points of failure, which occurs occasionally, usually due to internet access. So I guess my first question for you, is there a single software program out there that can run the polling program, like Poll Everywhere, but still has a more jazzy, aesthetically pleasing presentation style? We want to be entertaining.
Prezi's good. Prezi's great. I mean, and it really makes a PowerPoint presentation look like, oh my gosh, that's something like your parents would do and sit through, and versus making it, jazzing it up and having the wipes and the slides and the colors and things moving and being able to do that. And I'm surprised that it doesn't work directly. Like, I don't know. I haven't done this with Prezi, but you might want to look at something called Slido. It's Slido. Another one's called Mentimeter, Mentimeter. It may work with Prezi, or you could just reach out to Prezi and see if there's some type of plug-in that you could have it. But I love the idea of everybody in the audience being able to participate in showing the results real time. Because when they see the poll move, that makes them have more interaction, I think, with the event and the presentation and the messaging that you're trying to get across.
it's a somber topic, but if you can make it engaging, then you can get a lot of response, a lot of input from the students, and hopefully they remember these things as they encounter these crazy situations they get into in college.
Well, and that's really what it is. I mean, and it's really important information that you're passing along, because they may not be getting this type of real life intel at home or through school or through the first week of orientation or second week of orientation, right, whatever it may be at their college. That, and
they
safety
think they know.
is paramount. Well, of course, we all thought we knew everything until, I don't know how old you were, but I think I was about 30 till I was or 25 at least, where I looked at my parents and I said, "Oh my gosh, you guys are the smartest people I've ever met." So I think Microsoft PowerPoint, in case if you did want to go down that route, I mean, it is getting better. Is that they have Microsoft PowerPoint Live that you can add the polling to, and that they can participate with their phones. Now, as far as the internet Wi-Fi, you said being unreliable. Is that what you said?
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure why. I'm not sure if it's because we're inside an auditorium that is, thick-walled and we just don't get good internet.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would, just as a backup, and then I bet you it turns into your primary internet source, is I would carry around a Starlink portable internet. Because right now I think they just reduced the printer. I think now it's $400. And then for about $100 or so a month, is that you'll have a satellite internet connection that I will tell you that it's smoking. It's great. That you won't rely on the school's Wi-Fi if you want to. I know I sound like a commercial for Starlink, and that's not my intention, but I wish I could tell you there was a competitor, but there really isn't. And so, I mean, other than that, you could get some portable Wi-Fi hotspots, and you could do that. But then you're still inside, and you're fighting with all the different connections that you have there as well. As far as the gear that you're using, there's a side of me that's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? It's a wonderful thing.
It's important.
It is important. I'm sure you're helping a lot of people who you just don't even know who you're helping, and I think it's really commendable of you that you're doing this in light of your daughter's passing. That I couldn't imagine how horrible and horrifying that is for you every single day, but I think it's an important message. And again, thank you for your call. I'm incredibly proud of you for doing what you're doing. All right, so you have the perfect resume for the job, but nobody's asking you to interview. What's going on? A survey by Resume Builder found that 40% of companies faked job postings this year online. And they have a special name. They're called ghost jobs. Companies post them for a few reasons. They want to stash resumes for future openings. They want to give current employees a kick in the butt, or they want to make it look like they're thriving to competitors, investors. It's just a tactic. Now, there are some clues. For starters, the same job is posted over and over again. The postings have sky-high salaries and benefits without any clear requirements. And it could be remote, that the company has no intention of filling. So you always want to be on the lookout for that. All right, still to come, we're going to be talking about AI in your business. You don't want to miss that, as well as later on, the creepy hidden Google map here on the Kim Kimbo Show. We're going to talk about artificial intelligence, because you have to be smart when you use artificial intelligence. Like, for example, you don't want to give AI personal information, like, your name, your date of birth, your credit card number, social security number. You also don't want to start talking about like relationship issues, mental health struggles, because that's all going to be tied to your profile, right? And you also don't want to give out trade secrets, confidential information, proprietary stuff, and also anything that you've written personally. I mean, you don't want to upload your book to AI and go, hey, what do you think? Can you make it better? You're better off at a real editor, because AI could actually use that as an answer for something else. Now, when we start talking about how do you get the most out of AI, well, joining us right now is our very amazing content queen, Ali Seligman. Hello there, Ali.
Hi, Kim.
You know, I didn't tell you this before we talk about AI, is that I was looking at Ian coming in to see where he was located from LA the other day.
Yeah.
And I tried to screenshot it because it showed Ian with his little face on Find My Friends. And he was over Seligman, Arizona.
Oh,
I thought that was so cute.
No relation. I've been there. We went. That was one of our like pandemic era trips where it was like you couldn't go in anywhere. So we went and drove up to Seligman and took pictures with all the signs. It was very dorky and very fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, see, there is an island by the name of Commando.
Is there with a K?
Yes, and it's in the Maldives.
I think you have to go for research.
I just want to sit in there and go like, mine. It's
you
mine.
get an island in the Maldives, and no offense to the fine people of Seligman, Arizona.
That's true.
But
there is that.
They're different.
All right. So we started talking about prompts for AI. I mean, it's like garbage in, garbage out, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And I really am of the mindset that if you were one of those people that thinks, oh boy, AI is coming for my job, you are thinking about it all wrong. I mean, maybe you need a different type of job, right? But I think if you can use this stuff to make you do a better job at work, you're not going to get replaced. Your boss is going to think, oh, wow, he or she actually knows how to talk to this thing and I don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's all become a little bit of an AI genius today, right? Because we want you to be successful at this stuff. Now, I'm going to get a little bit in the weeds. Normally, we keep it really top level, but like I'm going to throw out some terms that if you say these to your boss or anyone else, they're going to be like, whoa.
You know what? And they're going to look at you and go, you're amazing.
Wow. How did you learn that? Yes. Did you do a 30-hour course? No, I listened to the Kim Commando show. We are going to start at the top with zero-shot prompting. Okay, what the heck is that?
Yes.
It's funny because you've probably done this multiple times without realizing that that's what this is called. So this is when you just let the AI do its work, right? You ask it to do something like, analyze this for me. Summarize this. Hey, here's a really long article. Can you tell me what it means in 3 paragraphs? Look at this legal document for me. So you're not exactly telling it how to do its job. You're just letting it do something it already knows how to do. Okay. All right.
Okay. So that zero-shot prompting.
Yes.
Could you imagine if somebody puts that on their resume, one of their expertise, zero-shot prompting?
This is what I'm saying. Okay. And you know how to do it because it really is kind of a basic thing, right? One that I like for this, maybe you have a bunch of customer reviews and you need to know like, okay, I don't have time to go through all of these right now. We'll put them in and say, tell me what percentage of these are positive, neutral, or negative. Great. You just did an analysis on your customer base.
Gosh, that's
with one
awesome.
sentence.
I mean, think about how long that would have taken you to do.
Yes.
I mean, you'd have to like sort them all out. And then you have the big math, the percentage.
Big math.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I was always bad at percentages.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Next up is few-shot prompting. Okay, few-shot prompting. If zero-shot has no examples, few-shot has a few. So this is when you give 2 to 5, generally, examples of what you want. So maybe this is saying, I need you to write social media posts for me for my small business. Here are 3 examples of ones that I really, really like. Okay, great. So you're just giving more direction to the AI, right? This is probably the one that I do most commonly. Probably the same for you, Kim, right? You give feedback and examples with it.
Yeah, and I've noticed that the feedback that I give, depending upon my mood, I was like, you are totally off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not paying attention. You're not,
Well, and be careful with that tough love, Kim, because we do know that if you're polite to the AI, it generally will give you better responses.
I do say thank you.
Okay, there you go. Please and thank you. Please do a better job. Thank you.
Now, do you say please and thank you to Alexa?
No. I don't, but I am polite. I don't do please and thank you words, but I'm not like, Alexa, shut up. I'm pretty polite.
There's a whole thing in the whole parenting circle that they're teaching the kids to say please and thank you.
I don't think that's a bad idea, actually, because if you grow up, you're a little kid and you're allowed to just boss stuff around.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
You're going to do that to people too.
No.
Okay. So for this one, again, 2 to 5 examples. This is when you want to get something a little more specific and you have a way that you want it to get done. And this is so you're not beating your head against the wall saying, if you do zero-shot prompting and you say, write me social media posts, it's just going to write some stuff that has nothing to do with you or your business. And then finally, we've got chain of thought prompting. Ooh.
That's a big one.
Again, I bet this is something you've done and you didn't even know what it was called. This is when you say something like, tell me why you did this. Explain the answer step by step. I really like this one when you're doing something more complex. Say I want AI to give me a business plan, right? That's a lot of work and a lot of steps involved. If I say, explain exactly how you did this, I don't just get the plan, I learn exactly why it did what it did. It's good for a few things. One, you're not just flying blind, right? You know why it did certain things. And so in case maybe your boss says, hey, why'd you include this? You don't look like a big idiot, right?
I don't know.
Because I thought it was a good idea. It also can help you spot some flaws in the logic because maybe your business plan kind of assumes that you had 20 people work for you. What if it's only 5, right? So this helps you figure out why it gave you the result it gave you. This is especially helpful if you get a dumb response that you don't like. And sometimes you'll get back, oops, sorry, I messed up. Sometimes you will get, hey, here's exactly where I got all this stuff. And that's really helpful.
Well, the tying all this up with a nice bow is, you spoke about this a while back. And I have to tell you that I've always used it since then, since you talked about it, is that you tell AI to be a marketing pro, to be a financial pro.
I love this one too.
Yeah, to be a grammar pro or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're setting up, you're kind of putting it in the right mind space, right? Like you might do with a person, except a person who knows everything. So you're saying, think in this way. Maybe you're fighting with your landlord and you say, you are a real estate attorney. You are a marketing pro, like you said. It can really think in any way you want, and it'll give you answers based on that, which is so handy for so many things, both personal, professional, whatever it is.
It is. Okay. Finally, did you know that Vladimir Putin just released AI for everybody? I mean, for everybody in Russia.
Oh, really?
It's called Chat KGB. Chat KGB. It asks all the questions, and you are obligated to answer it.
That was actually pretty good.
Okay,
well done.
Some of them are bad. I mean, I'm trying.
You had a good one for me. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
You can steal that from me. All right, Al, thanks for being here as always. Long ago, you wouldn't second guess a link that was sent to you from your mom, your dad, your coworker, or friend, or your bank, but you can't do that anymore. Hackers and scammers are sending out malicious links all over. As a rule, if you did not ask for that link, do not click it. But what if it looks legit, coming from someone you trust, a company you know? First up, hit them up to make sure it's really from them. But if you're using Google Chrome, I want you to turn on safe browsing. This way you get alerts about malware, risky extensions, bad downloads, leaked passwords, phishing, sites on Google's list, potentially unsafe sites. What you do is you open Chrome, and under settings, just turn on safe browsing. Again, open Chrome, under settings and privacy and security, just turn on safe browsing. All right, still to come, we have more of your great phone calls, as well as that creepy hidden Google map. When you see it, you're going to be like, oh, what was that about? Here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, James in Christiana, Tennessee. Hi there, James.
Well, Kim, I got hacked thoroughly and completely. Some folks came into my Wi-Fi range, and literally everything from the security system to my cell phone has been compromised. So, like, the option of rebooting your cell phone is not really an option because it has a whole different OS on it now. In that sort of a situation, what can I do?
Okay, so how do you know that you've been hacked? Give me some examples.
Give you some examples. They have left, on error, I'm assuming, they have left open spreadsheets showing that they have turned our TVs into microservers. They have turned the onboard cameras that are in some of the TVs and the security panel. They have turned those against us, and they've shown up on a website, 163dvd or dvr.com. There has been, gracious, they've even come into the house. They have, we could talk probably for a couple hours about everything that's happened, as this has been ongoing for over a year.
Now, obviously, you've contacted what? The local police, the FBI?
Law enforcement.
Okay.
I have contacted the sheriff's department out here, and I have also contacted the FBI a couple of times. I have yet to hear anything back. I've had the sheriff out here 3 times. We were under the assumption initially that we were being set up for burglary because, they have complete control over us. And we simply can't afford to take everything out and replace, the Wi-Fi and the TVs and everything throughout the house. We just can't do it.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you can do. Okay.
Okay.
And you're doing the right thing, James, by contacting the feds and the police and the sheriffs to see if there's something that you can do. The thing is that it becomes a difficult proposition for me to do this. Just us talking on the phone.
I understand.
But what I would do is I'd start at the beginning and where that entry point comes into your house, and I'd find a new cable provider, change my cable accounts. I would I would do a factory reset on the router, maybe even get a new one. Factory reset on all the Wi-Fi devices.
Right.
Get new phone accounts.
Wow.
And take the computers down to factory reset them, start over, change every password I have, change my bank accounts, put Google Alerts on my name, and get some identity theft protection. It becomes a real problem. It does.
I've been dealing with this and fighting them tooth and nail for a year, and am literally at their mercy for the most part.
Now, one of the things that you have to remember that we have been determined in a lot of research is that when this is happening, it's sometimes somebody who's close to you being the victim. And so you need to look in your circle. Who did you let in?
Right.
Who may be disguised as someone else.
Carrying a grudge, right?
And that's where I want you to think outside the box a little bit. Maybe even you and your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever that you guys say, okay, who might this be? And the reason why is that as I've been helping people deal with this, it seems more of an issue, is that it does always seem to come back to somebody who somebody knows. Like there was a situation that a mom called me, James, and her daughter was being stalked online.
Right.
And the person was saying, you look pretty today, and you had pizza for lunch, and it was like, well, how does this person know this?
Right.
And she had just broken up with somebody on Tinder and all this other stuff. So anyway, bottom line is that, a year and a half later, through some work that we helped her do, is that it was somebody who she knew.
Right.
Who was pretending to be somebody else.
Right.
So that's why, we can, you have to, it's a multi-pronged approach whenever this happens, is that of course, you're going to contact the law enforcement, but look at every single thing that you do online. And sometimes you have to make a whole list, make a list of every single thing and start replacing and changing that every single thing from start to finish. And don't leave any stone unturned. And then also limit who you allow on your Wi-Fi. And make sure that Wi-Fi is locked down as best it can be. Not using some wimpy little password there. And you start looking for other signs. As you said, things are popping up. Things are showing on the screen. My phone's overheating, and I'm seeing email that I didn't send. Right? It's not an easy task, and just think about this. Then if you need any help whatsoever, just give me a call back. And James, thank you for your call. I love getting your questions. I love taking your phone calls, and I love helping each and every one of you out. I truly do. It's my passion. And so here's what you need to do. You need to tell me how I can help you. So the easiest and the best way is going to commando.com, and at the top of the page, there's a link that says Ask Kim. Or you can send me a voice memo. It's kind of like a voicemail, but you're going to record it on your phone, and then you're going to email me that to podcasts@commando.com. Don't text me don't be sending me your question via typing it out. This is only for voice memos, Send them to podcasts@commando.com. Just give me your name, your city, your state, and then your question. No longer than 3 minutes, please. podcasts@komando.com. You know, Google tracks your whereabouts even if you're not using a Google app. You simply need to be logged into Gmail, Chat, Maps, or some other Google product. So prepare to be shocked because you're going to see a map of every single place that you've been. To check your location history, you're going to open the Google Maps app, tap on your profile picture, and then select your timeline. You're going to find a map of everywhere you've been. You can filter by year, month, and day. If this makes you uncomfortable, you can delete all this history by tapping Manage Location History. Once again, that's Manage Location History. Hey, just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, make sure that you enter to win that brand new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence right now. Head to winfromkim.com.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
Hey, let's kick things off with a funny story, a strange story about a cat by the name of Galena. Carrie Clark is the fur baby's mommy. And all of a sudden, Galena is just like not hanging around the house. And Carrie's like, where's the cat? The cat is an inside cat. The cat never goes outside. So she got the entire Salt Lake City neighborhood just looking for her cat. She posted signs everywhere. She went crazy on social media. I mean, because she loves this cat. Well, a few days after she started posting all these signs just a week ago, she got a message that her cat's microchip had been scanned. Yes. Now remember, she's in Utah. The cat was in California. Oh, so how did this little cat get from Utah to California? Well, Carrie and her husband shipped back some work boots to Amazon, and somehow the cat got in the work boots that ended up in the Amazon box. Gosh, could you imagine? And then got shipped back to an Amazon return center. Yeah, talking about the cat's out of the box. Oh, I know. On that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. This is the best show. It's the biggest show. It's the most trusted show about all things digital. And let me tell you, you are about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing right now is a tech thing. I mean, think about it. And if you're a brand new listener to the show, welcome aboard. And if you're a regular listener, oh, darling, you look amazing. And you can find my show on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming as part of the Komando community membership, just a few bucks a month over at komando.com. And you can also get the Kim Komando Show as a commercial-free podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 U.S. service members. And we salute each and every one of you and thank you for your service. All right, every single day, even on the weekends, every single day I wake up and then I go to at least 35 or 40 different websites to make sure that we are both up to date on what's going on in the tech world because it just changes so quickly. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that are happening right now. We're going to start with the Senate. You see, the Senate passed a bill forcing TikTok's communist China parent company ByteDance to sell or face the ban. And Democrats and Republicans overwhelmingly supported it. You see, TikTok is bad for America because it collects all this data that, again, it has to turn over to the communist Chinese government. So President Biden has signed off on it as well. Now, the ban is not going to roll out until after the 2024 election. They're going to give them 9 months to sell it and then probably give them a 3-month extension. Now, if they don't sell it, the app is going to be banned from the United States. But how exactly will that happen? You know, they would actually have to enforce some internet blocking, which, you know, they can do that in China with the Great Firewall, but that doesn't happen here in America. Moving on to number 2. Wow. Do you remember when you could have friends over and then you'd be able to talk politics with them without everybody getting all crazy? Yeah. Well, you know, today families split and friends quickly become enemies if both sides do not support the same candidates. So let's talk about artificial intelligence because it can now identify with stunning accuracy just by a photo of your face whether or not you're a conservative or a liberal. It doesn't need to know anything else about you. This story is published in the prestigious journal American Psychologist and explains how an AI algorithm called VGG Face 2 can accurately determine your political views by just your face. Now, think about this. Widespread biometric surveillance in airport, stores, on the street, even your Facebook or LinkedIn photo, it's more threatening than anyone can imagine. So here's what AI says. Liberals have small lower faces. Their chins, their lips, their noses point downwards. Conservatives have large bottom face features, and things may point up a little bit more. You know, back in the 1930s, there was that government that made a lot of assumptions too, right? Number 3, I wear a lot of dresses. Matter of fact, I'm wearing a dress right now, and if you wear a dress, you have to be careful. This took place at a Target in Greenville, North Carolina. Thomas Ryan Elliott, 21-year-old guy, notices that this gal's bending down at Target at the bottom shelf in an aisle like anybody else would normally do. That's when he plans his nasty little scheme. As she's bending over, he slips his phone underneath her dress and starts recording an upskirt video. Luckily, there was a woman also shopping at Target and was like, "Hey, what exactly are you doing?" She pulls out her camera. Take a listen.
Excuse me, what are you doing? No, I just saw you put that underneath her dress. Absolutely you did.
No, ma'am, I really wasn't.
You absolutely did.
Ma'am, I really wasn't. I promise.
Then show me your phone.
Yes.
No, we're going to call security.
No, I really...
You absolutely did. And you were following me over in the children's section.
Because I have a sister who's pregnant. Ma'am, I really wasn't.
Yeah. He did it. Okay, this woman's a hero for sure. Thomas Elliott got arrested. By the way, he just got baptized in church a few weeks ago. He's a voluntary elementary school teacher. Yuck. Number 4, this is why I never trusted full self-driving mode when I owned a Tesla. A motorcyclist died in Washington because apparently a Tesla driver did trust his full self-driving mode so much that he was scrolling on his phone while driving, not paying attention to the road or what was going on, and he smashed right into a motorcycle at full speed. The motorcycle was thrown off the bike, then the car rolled over him. When police arrived, he was still under the car. The driver told police that, quote, he put the trust in the machine to drive for him. And he only knew he was in a wreck when he heard a bang as his car lurched forward. Okay. Full self-driving mode still requires you to be alert at the wheel. The Tesla driver, who has not been named, was booked with a charge of vehicular homicide. And finally, this number 5. Think back to the last time you took one of those tests online. You know, it says like, I am not a robot. You know the ones where they're called CAPTCHAs. Well, if you're sitting there saying, gosh, they seem to be getting harder. I don't need to just find like 3 traffic lights anymore or 3 boats or whatever it may be. The tests are meant to weed out the bots, and they've been around since the year 2000. But the University of Irvine has found out that while humans can solve distorted text CAPTCHAs in 9 to 15 seconds with a success rate of 50 to 84%, bots... Yes, the bots, they can take these tests in less than a second with an accuracy of 99.8%. Wow. So that's why now when you see a CAPTCHA online, it's no longer 3 steps or 3 motorcycles, whatever it may be. You have to slide a puzzle piece, rotate an object, or find a hidden number. You have to find a hidden number. So let me tell you something. Speaking about bots and CAPTCHAs, a long time ago, I wrote a bot script to get past website security. It managed to evade CAPTCHA for a long time. Oh, bad one. All right, coming up, we're going to talk about Amazon Prime. Is it worth the money? We have some insider secrets to spot a bad doctor online. And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Okay, here's where I want you to go right now. I want you to do it right now. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. No other word in the middle but from. Winfromkim.com. Now, when you do that, you are going to be entered to win, a brand new iPhone. I know. It's an incredible prize. It's just an incredible prize. Now, there is a catch. You have to try at least one issue of my free newsletter. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. All right, let's get this hour started with Emily in San Antonio, Texas. Hi there, Emily.
So I went to a conference and learned that it's helpful with teens to set their phones aside at night and also do maybe some random safety checks.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, yeah, no problem. I can do that. Well, I went to grab the phone and do a safety check and had no idea what to look for.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I'm sitting there awkwardly staring at their phone, feeling, uncomfortable because I feel like I'm spying. But then also at the same time, I don't know what to look for to make sure that they're staying safe. So,
but you do have the passcode to the phone, so you can open the phone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Teens are tough, right?
Yeah.
Because especially in today with social media, there are so many stats and surveys and research that because of everything that happens on social media, it's detrimental to their development. They get addicted to things. They see things that they probably shouldn't see. If they like a video because the gal's thin, is that suddenly they may start seeing videos about how great it is to be anorexic. And then there are all the videos of all these girls that look so beautiful. And you remember what it was like when you were a teenage girl. I mean, you sat there and you're like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. When really you were gorgeous. You were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I get anything to look like that again.
Yes, exactly. Okay. But at that time, you have no self-confidence.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. And then you thought, well, because, you look at the girl sitting next to you in school and she's just a knockout and you're like, barf, barf. When in reality, it wasn't that case. And now with social media, it exaggerates that because because it's always got to be one up and one up and one up. So it's smart that you're doing. Social media is the place for you to check. You should make sure that you're their friends on all their social media accounts.
Okay.
So whatever they post that you see on your social media. Now, keep in mind the kids have a couple of accounts. Okay, they normally have a real account and they have a fake account. So it's going to be up to you to figure out the fake account. If you can't just ask them, where is your fake account? And they're going to say, we don't have one. Think of the fake account as their PR version. Okay. This is going to be their PR account that when they apply to college, this is what they're going to say their social media account is. So it's going to have, like my son on his fake account, he had pictures of cars. He had pictures of like motivational posters, succeed or else, one of those things. And I'm like, yeah, okay. We're all the prank videos. Okay. So, so of course, when you open the phone, you're going to look at their text messages. You're going to look at any emails. You're going to look at their social media accounts. And then there are also some other things that may not be so obvious. And like, for example, one is a calculator app. And you're going to sit there and go, oh, look at her go. She's just so into calculus. She downloaded the best calculator app in the world. Okay, by typing in certain numbers or entering certain numbers is that it could be a secret porn stash. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
So how do you find those? Is that on their phone, you look at their app stores and you see what they're downloading. Okay. And then on the apps, these are like secret lockers. And so they might look like a photo app. It might look like a game. It might look like, so whatever it is, you just take a look. You're in there. Are they on iPhones or Android?
Android. That's what makes it harder.
Yeah, it does. Because otherwise you could share an Apple ID. Okay.
Right.
Now, there are these spy programs. It's one that's been out there forever. It's called M-Spy. And it also works on iPhones too, by the way. But it gives you a full accounting of every single thing that's on the phone. I mean, anything that they do on the phone, you're going to get a copy of. Calls, text messages, what they browse. Of course, you're going to look at the browser history too. Most kids are smart enough to go incognito if they're going to do anything online. So it's difficult, but it's also very necessary that you have that one-on-one conversation with them, right?
Right. Yeah.
Say, I'm going to take a look, and if I see something I don't like, I'm going to take the phone away. Okay, you have that. They're going to clean up the phone every single chance that you can.
Okay.
Think about this. I mean, what would you have done if you were given a smartphone at that age?
I tried to be smarter, but I don't know if I would have been able to.
I mean, yeah. Okay. I mean, and a lot of parents are at a disadvantage because the kids know more. They do.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's the whole idea is that at night that, I used to have what I called a key box, and it was a box that looked like a book that we would just throw the car keys in whenever we came home. But that's where the phone went at night. Some parents have such a hard time they have to turn off the internet at night but then if the kids have a phone, it's going on cellular, and you can
that's true.
You can do all that on the router, by the way. You can turn the Wi-Fi on or off at certain times. There's settings in there. But why don't you take a look at the phone, Emily? Just take a look, and then what I'd like you to do is to call me back. Tell me what you found. Tell me what problems you ran into, and then we'll take it to the next level. But you know what? You are such a smart mother. You really are. And I'm so proud of you for doing this, because a lot of parents won't, because they're like, oh, I don't want to fight with the kids over the phone. It's easier not to look. Yeah, well, that's when the kid gets in trouble. Emily, once again, thanks for your call. All right, summer vacation's right around the corner. The best day to book your flights per Expedia is on a Sunday. That's right, on a Sunday. And also, you want to start using incognito mode in your browser and also a VPN, because this way tracking cookies don't drive up prices. Now, for the best deals, you want to plug in your details, say at Google Flights, at Skyscanner, or Kayak. They let you easily compare prices across airlines. And be sure to set up alerts on these websites, because they do the work, and they're going to let you know when it's the cheapest time to book. Again, that's Kayak, Skyscanner, or Google Flights. All right, coming up, we have some great tips you don't want to miss. And of course, more of your phone calls and me, Kim Commando. All right, coming up, we have a great tip. Is Amazon Prime worth the money? And then later on, some insider secrets on how you can check out a doctor online. And before we get to all of that, you know how we buy movies and shows on Amazon Prime and Apple and YouTube and Vudu and all the other platforms? It turns out even after you pay for them, you don't really own them. A lot of people don't realize this. Here's your rule to remember. When you buy movies on the streaming platforms, you're not purchasing the content. You're only buying the right to watch them. And that right can be taken away. Sony PlayStation did this recently. So what can you do? For those movies that you truly, really love, oh, I know you're going to say but I don't have a DVD player anymore. Well, you have to go old school. Get a DVD player, buy your movies on physical media. It's really the most reliable option for the long term. All right. A couple of days a week, actually 3 days a week to be exact, is that I do a podcast called Kim Commando Today. It's super popular. If you haven't checked it out, you're missing out. I mean, I know you're listening on the radio, or maybe you are listening on the podcast, but Kim Commando Today, it's different than the show. It's me, it's Allie, it's Andrew, and we talk about that day's technology, what's going on, and we have some great interviews. So wherever you get your podcast, search for my last name, Commando. Well, the other day, I had a chance to speak to a wildly popular, huge YouTuber. Guy's got 3 million subscribers. He has 1 million subscribers on Twitch. His name is Kai Boga. And what he does is scam baiting. It's where he makes scammers think that they're conning him. So, he may call a fake tech support number, and he kind of strings them along. And then he has all these characters that he plays. But the whole idea is that while the scammers are talking to him, they're not really actually scamming somebody else. Now, he's been doing it for a while, and he, as I mentioned, he slips into different voices and characters, and he makes these scammers super angry. And I really wanted to know, how he got into it, and, what are the best cases that he has helped solve? What are the worst ones? And has he ever made the scammers just, come after him? So here, take a listen. How did you get started doing this, and why?
Yeah, so it's about 7 years ago now. I first heard about tech support scams. I was told, I was actually watching some YouTube videos. There was a recording of an elderly old man. It's called Hey, It's Lenny. They were playing it to some telemarketers, and the title was tech support scammer gets angry at recording. I had never heard of tech support scams. I'm a software engineer, millennial, and I kind of instantly had this moment where I realized if I didn't know that this existed, surely my grandparents don't know that this exists. And my grandparents had Alzheimer's and dementia, and I kind of knew if one of these scammers called them, they would definitely fall for it. And that was the spark that made me say, maybe I should try to do something about it.
And so is that how you came up with Edna?
Yeah, Edna is definitely, it's based off of my grandparents and the stories they used to tell me. I found out actually this year that my great grandmother's name was Edna. I had no idea. So it's just perfect. But yeah, in general, when I call the scammers, I'm trying to play the perfect victim. And sadly to them, a lot of times it is an older individual. Mm-hmm. So I'll actually try to manipulate my voice and sound a little bit older or like I don't have teeth.
So now, through the years, you have evolved with your channel and how you are approaching these scammers and what you've done on the back end with this entirely made-up system. Like everything they think they're seeing on your computer is fake and is a facade and is not real. Well, how did you figure that out? What was the birth of that idea to do it that way?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so it's evolved over time, like you said. It didn't start off day one with all of these tools. It was just, well, if Microsoft says I have a virus on my computer, they want to connect to my computer. And I knew I didn't want them on my actual personal computer. That's one of the worst things that you could do. And I knew enough about making what's called a virtual machine or a fake computer. But then they might ask me to log into my bank account. And I'm not going to log into my real bank account. So I had to make a fake bank account. And over the years, they've asked me to do lots of things like show my webcam. So I had to make a fake augmented webcam to make me look older. Or now they're doing all the crypto investments. So I've had to make fake crypto accounts or all sorts of things. It's been in a kind of like a cat and mouse game. I imagine Tom and Jerry a little bit.
So walk us through how do you do the scam bait?
A lot of it is just calling or texting or responding to emails that you probably know are too good to be true. People from like lots of different viewers will send in emails or messages and say, my grandmother got this message. Or in fact, you were just talking about one of your viewers who was asking you about that investment website. I would just sign up for the website, right? I would sign up. I would start messaging them. I would start calling them on the phone and playing as if I wanted to do all the investments. Just the scammers don't realize that none of the information I give them is real, and everything I'm doing is to waste their time or gather information about them.
Now explain how you figured out, I never thought it would get to this point, that you have scammers sending you videos of them with cucumbers and sponges and slippers on their heads. How did you get to that point? How do you convince someone who's trying to steal from you to send those videos?
Good question. Honestly, a lot of it comes down to using their scam tactics against them. So for these guys, they believe that I'm trying to invest maybe 1 Bitcoin, which is a significant amount of money.
For sure.
And if they're thinking all I got to do is go through a couple hoops and I'm about to have tens of thousands of dollars. Well, if someone who you think is customer support at this legitimate crypto exchange is telling you, if you put a banana on your head, you'll get 1 Bitcoin, I would do that, right? Like you would do that as well. So that's sort of...
You know what? Does anybody have a banana? I put one on my head right now. So have you ever been threatened by any of the scammers?
I have over the years, particularly with the government imposter scams. So the scammers who have pretended to be the IRS or the Social Security Department or something, they would be threatening me, saying that I would go to prison, that they would kill my family, all kinds of things. But typically I'm playing a character, so I can kind of separate myself from that. Like they're threatening the old man character I'm playing, not me. Most of them don't realize who I actually am, and I kind of try to keep it that way. Hence that's why I originally wore the sunglasses, because I thought I would be more private. Although that's not.
Yeah, I got news for you, kid. It's not working for you that way.
No.
I can still know who you are. Yeah. I mean, so what's the longest time, kid, that you've been talking to a scammer where you just kind of like strung them along and strung them along and strung them along?
Yeah. So the longest so far is somewhere around 54 hours. Now, that wasn't just one phone call. It was over the course of months and months. So typically what would happen is I might spend 3-4 hours on the phone, and then the scammers will ask me to go to my bank and withdraw money or buy them gift cards or send them crypto. In some way, they want to take my money. And then I come up with an excuse. Something happens. I redeem the gift card on my computer and I make it really angry.
So brilliant.
Or I wire the money to the wrong account or something like that. And then they just call me the next day and they think, well, I guess we're going to try again. And so sometimes over the course of weeks or months, I can kind of get a whole call center distracted talking to me. They think that I'm the best target, and the sort of sunk cost fallacy comes in as well. They think we've already spent 30 hours. We've already spent the entire week talking to this guy. Maybe today's the day that we'll finally get our money.
So again, that's Kim Komando today. I'd love for you to check it out. Just listen to it once and you're going to love it. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you were on YouTube during the day and you're like, hey, I'd like to watch you guys do it live, you can do that. Otherwise, on demand. The live time Monday, Wednesday, Friday is 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Again, that's youtube.com/Kim Komando in case you want to watch the whole interview. But if you want to listen to the whole interview, it's easy that way too. Just get the Kim Komando Today podcast. All right. Is Amazon Prime really worth the money? Okay. It's $139 a year. So if you're diving into all the extras, if you want to skip the ads on Prime Video, that's an extra $2.99 a month. What about getting groceries delivered from Whole Foods and other places? That's $9.99 a month. For music lovers, Amazon Music Unlimited, $9.99 a month. See how it just keeps going up and up and up? The Wall Street Journal says a fully loaded Prime membership with all the perks is about $320 a year. Whoa. So if you haven't checked how much you're paying for Prime, you might want to do that now. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls and more tips, tricks, and secrets you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, let's see. Lauren in St. Louis, glad to have you with us.
So my question relates to a friend that I have, a good friend who is the president of a nonprofit foundation, and the foundation is tasked with maintaining information, historical information about a group of islands where there are centuries of history in these islands of people and all sorts of things.
Where are the islands?
And it's in they're off California, the Channel Islands off of the coast of California.
Oh, you know what? I love the Channel Islands. Oh my gosh.
So do I.
Channel Islands are so beautiful. I have a second home in Santa Barbara.
Oh, well, then you know all about them. And if you're in Santa Barbara, she just opened a museum. It's called the Chrisman Channel Islands Center in Carpinteria, and it just opened, and it is awesome. And you really need to. It's open to the public. It's beautiful.
Wow, I'll have to go down there, check it out.
Yes, you will. So she obviously has. She's collected information about these islands for decades, and the foundation itself has restored buildings and historic equipment, collected artifacts, etc., on the islands. And she's always doing research on the islands. She has an archivist. She has, I don't even know how many millions of archival pieces in this museum. So, but my question relates to a website that she has developed. It's like an encyclopedia.
Okay.
And for the islands. And she has over 18,000 pages of records and information, and over 10,000 images in this encyclopedia about the islands and the people, the artifacts, the personal stories, everything that she can find about the islands. And people are continuously sending her information, and she has people doing research. So this, she never ends. She's been doing this for decades, and I've asked her several times, how do you protect this information on the internet?
As far as what, backing it up?
Yeah, backing it up. She said it's backed up in the cloud. I said that doesn't sound safe enough to me. You need to have something that's really backing this up in case anything ever happens, and you can recover it. and it needs to be done on a regular basis. So that's why I'm calling you to find out what you should do.
Well, what an ambitious project. Wow. That's awesome.
It is.
And Santa Cruz is just so pretty. So pretty. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine just had a major birthday, and I said, "This is what we're going to do for your birthday. I am going to take you on my boat to Santa Cruz, and we're gonna go hiking for the day, and then take the boat back." But
I actually got married on that island.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fabulous. All right. So, there are services that can back up websites. I can send you a list of those. There's also a place that I'd like you to tell her about. It's archive.org. And that's archive.org. Oh, and the guy who's in charge is just an amazing man. It's his mission in life to have a complete backup of every website in the world. Okay.
Oh my God.
And so if you tell him, listen, this is my website. I want you, you fill out a form, and it's all automated. Just fill out a form. And then every day, every other day, whatever it may be, it goes and it captures a new copy of that website. Just copies an entire new copy.
Wow.
And then you can go back in time and you can see what that website looked like 5 years ago, 2 months ago, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Another idea would be, if she hasn't already, is to put this into Wiki Commons and also Wikipedia as a resource, so that if people are looking things up, and especially now that AI is using Wikipedia and Wiki Commons to fuel its knowledge base, is that she may become a resource. So if somebody says, why were there cows on Santa Cruz Island, right?
Yes.
That she can come back and, that her website would come up with that information, and then AI would source her as that place for that information, because, which is just, the whole history of the islands is just, I saw a little bit of it in the Santa Barbara Maritime Museum, where they have just a little display there. And I had no idea that any of that ever happened.
Yeah, well, if you go to this center, this museum that she's created, you'll really be impressed. It's stunning.
You know what? I'm going to put you on hold, okay, Lauren, and then I want you to tell Amber the name of that museum again, so that this way I can make sure that I put it on my notes as a to-do list next time I drive through Carpinteria. When we're talking about really right now, folks, is the Central California coast. And so it's about, if you're unfamiliar with this area, it's about a 2 hour and a half drive north of Los Angeles. Lauren, once again, thank you for your call today. All right. You know what they say. Who do they call the person who graduates last in their medical school? The last person. Doctor, right? So that's why you need to go online and check them out. Okay. Beyond the online reviews, which can be gamed, you need to do some digging. So you start by verifying your doc's credentials. Are they certified? How long have they been practicing? The American Board of Medical Specialties has an online database where you can check if a doctor is board certified in their specialty. So head to certificationmatters.org. You type in your doctor's name, and then you can check to see if your doctor has also gotten into trouble. How every state has a medical board that licenses and oversees medical practitioners. So just search for your doc's name on the board's website. Again, that's certificationmatters.org, or just search for your doctor's name on the board's website. And don't forget to enter to win that iPhone at winfromkim.com.